the three different natures of people, that is Sattvic, Rajas, and Tamas. These all impact their devotion, Tapa, food, and Yajna. These need to be understood and assimilated as these influence not only personality but also the outcome of your actions and your devotion. These four factors of life which needs to be understood, defined and monitored are: 1. Devotion or religious beliefs. 2. Tapa, that is developing courage to undergo difficulties for good cause that you may visualize and you may undertake. Number 3. Yajna, the good deeds or the ability to share your possessions for those who are in need. Lastly, food. Food is another important factor. The food that you select to eat, that also has an implication on your personality and your work. Shlok-wise division of the chapter is as follows. Shlok 1 to 6, three types of devotion is explained. Negative people who don't think good of the society, they are described. Shlok 7 to 10, three types of foods are described: Sattvic food, Rajas food, and Tamas food. Shlok 11 to 22, three types of Yagya, Tapa, and charity, they are explained in detail. Shlok 23 to 28, explanation of Om Tat Sat and the description of forbidden actions. Now I'll read English translation of all shlokas 1 to 28. Arjun said, Krishna, the person who ignores the principles laid down in Shastras but is full of devotion and worships demigods, how will you term his worship? Sattviki, Rajsi, or Tamsi? Lord Krishna replied, devotion that arises out of one's own nature is devoid of procedural attributes as mentioned in the Shastras, can be any of the three types. It can be Sattviki, Rajsi, or Tamsi. I shall now explain these to you. Bharat, devotion of a person depends on his or her intrinsic nature. A devoted person is as good or bad as his devotion. Sattvic men worship devas, gods. Rajasi men worship demigods or demons. And Tamsi men worship ghosts and evil spirits. The person who ignores the holy scriptures devises his own imaginary form of tapa. He is full of attachment, desire, and pride for his own power. Those who slight their body and soul, which is in fact my extension, you must consider them to bear demonic nature. Everyone enjoys such food as is compatible with his or her nature. Likewise, yajna, devotional service for a good cause, donation, and devotional worship are also of three types each. I'll explain to you now. The foods which are stable, promote health, intellect, lovable, and are juicy and buttery, such foods are loved by Sattvic people. Foods which are bitter, sour, very salty, very hot, that causes burning sensation and are responsible for anxiety, sorrow, and disease are liked by Rajasic people. And the meals which are half cooked, dry, emit foul odor, and impure, such meals are preferred by Tamasic people. Yajna, which is performed according to the established procedures, while considering that it is one's duty to perform yajna, should be considered as sattvic yajna. But yajna, which is performed in order to show off and with arrogance and for achieving desired results, should be considered as rajas yajna. Ignoring all the holy procedures without donating food, without chanting mantras, and devoid of devotion or dakshina, such a yajna is of tamas category. Worshipping gods, Brahmins, gurus, and saints of wisdom, with purity and simplicity, and avoidance of sex and violence. This is known as body related tapa. Speech that does not hurt and is lovable and is also appropriate and helpful. The reading of scriptures and repeating God's name. These are known as the tapa of speech. A delightful mind, peaceful nature, and one inclined to remember God and purity of thoughts and mental processes. These refer to mind related tapa. People practicing yoga who do not desire results but carry out the aforesaid three kinds of tapa, the tapa is known as sattvic tapa. But tapa which is carried out for honor, for pride, or worship, for any other selfish motive, and the tapa which is for transitory results is known as rajas tapa. And the tapa which is performed foolishly and is hurting to the mind, speech, and body, and aims at inconveniencing or hurting others is known as tamas tapa. Donation is one's duty, and as such, any donation that is given without expectation and with a feeling of generosity that you are helping other is called sattvic donation. But the donation which is made with consideration of motive, with pride and honor and the desire of heaven, such a donation should be considered rajas donation. And the donation which is made without respect or with disdain and is given to unworthy people or is given for unworthy causes is known as tamas donation. Om Tat Sat, Supreme Soul, Essence Truth, these three words Om Tat Sat denote the names of the omnipresent Brahma. He alone has created Brahman, Vedas, and Yajna, etc. Therefore, all worthy actions like Yajna, donation, or Tapa are initiated by the righteous people by pronouncing Om. Om is always chanted before beginning Yajna, Tapa, or at the time of donation. Tat word denotes the name of the Almighty, to whom everything belongs. Therefore, selfless, righteous people perform holy duties like Yajna, Tapa, and donation while chanting Tata. Sat is the name of God. Re is repeated with devotion and purity and is also used while performing deserving duties. The intent behind Yajna or Tapa or donation is also known as Satta, and the duties carried out for the Almighty are also known as Sata. Arjun, any Yajna, Tapa or donation, if performed without devotion and respect and all other worthy actions, if these are devoid of devotion, are called as asata. Therefore, these are neither useful in life, in this life, nor in the next. Therefore, Arjun, we must follow the scriptures while performing all these good deeds for the progress of the society and for the benefit of the humanity.